was adamant about having fresh breath. This is one of my things. I am. No one else? Anyone with me?
Sure.
Love mouthwash. I love
No. So we always talk about this. Brushing twice a day, flossing can be very important, not just for breath, but gingival health, tooth health. But interesting new research claims going overboard on the use of mouthwash could increase your risk of diabetes. Say what? So the study claimed using mouthwash more than once a day may up the risk by killing both harmful and helpful bacteria in the mouth. Some of those bacteria may be protective against things like obesity and diabetes. Look, that's what I wrote my last book about, all about important good bacteria. So they followed 945 overweight or obese Puerto Ricans who used mouthwash regularly. They did not have diabetes. They looked at them, they kept track of their over-the-counter mouthwash habits. After 3 years, 30% of the people who use mouthwash twice or more a day progressed to prediabetes or diabetes. Only 20% of those who used it less frequently.
I think what was so fascinating was the mechanism that you have these good bacteria, and there's a hypothesis that it works via something called the nitric oxide pathway. And what that does is it opens up your blood vessels, it improves something called endothelial function, it can regulate your blood pressure, your blood sugar. There's so many benefits of this really good bacteria. And when you wipe it out across the board, the thought is that that's what increases your risk of diabetes.
The other issue, though, with this study is we now know there are so many different types of mouthwashes available. Heck, when this show started, we talked about alcohol-based mouthwashes potentially increasing your risk for oral cancer. So mouthwashes, look, even these two up here have very different active ingredients. And so I think we do need to take it with a grain of salt for that reason. And the other thing that's interesting is we see that gum disease does coincide with diabetes as well. And so you've got to be very careful here. And this is one of those where you got to walk that fine line. And I don't know if the answer is, well, you just use it once a day, continue your other habits. But well, it's just so funny because I'm addicted to mouthwash.
We don't necessarily know even how this plays out among non-obese people or people who aren't as at high risk.
Dr. Travis always has a valid point, too, that if it's not all the same mouthwash, we don't know the active ingredients. But we do know that certain parts of our body, we have good bacteria, and it stands to reason, just like, you know, you don't want to be overly washing your hands so you're affecting your immune system. Probably is the same thing true for your oral flora, that some are serving a good benefit there.
So until further studies, I mean, everything in moderation, right? And also don't use the mouthwash for maybe a minute and a half. I mean, follow the instructions. You're not really supposed to use it for sometimes more than 20 to 30 seconds is some of the instructions.
You know what I do? I will actually say that after I rinse my mouth out, I actually will then rinse with water because, and so there's a fine line there. We're a fact-based show. Is it a fact that my breath smells good now?
Yes.
I can smell your minty breakfast from here, Dr. Travis.
It feels so good.